The barriers to Ripple's attempt to purchase Circle are getting closer. Additionally, some fresh information has surfaced indicating that Circle is genuinely disputing receiving an offer from Coinbase or Ripple. Today, we're going to examine some fresh facts. I'll also show you what I believe Ripple will do in the event that they are unable to purchase Circle. In this video, we will also examine other material. In fact, USDT was on CNBC discussing their impending audit, and this footage appears to be a critique of them. You must see it. This clip, which I had never seen before, is fantastic. This is where we should begin. Good morning. According to cryptocurrency, Breaking Circle has filed for an initial public offering, IPO, to list on the New York Stock Exchange. At this time, neither Coinbase nor Ripple appear likely to acquire any companies. Claims that Circle Internet Group has applied for a New York stock market initial public offering, IPO. With 9.6 million shares from the corporation and 14.4 million from stakeholders, the company is offering 24 million Class 8 shares. The shares, which are traded under the Circle ticker CRCL, are anticipated to trade between $24 and $26. Naturally, there are numerous other prominent channels that claim that this is how discussions look, such as Digital Perspective. Circle claims that it is not for sale and has refuted rumors that it is in talks to acquire Ripple and Coinbase. Our long-term objectives have not changed. Many people are confused about whether or not they actually offered this. We had numerous reports stating that this was unquestionably genuine, particularly from Paul Barron and those kinds of outlets. I don't know, is that how things are done out here? This was attempting to proceed, and now Circle is disputing everything. I'm not really sure, you know. Breaking Circle refutes any rumors. Circle has already been listed on the Robinhood app for an IPO for $26. You should absolutely check out apps like Robinhood and others that you provide if you're interested in purchasing Circle stock. Just be sure that the company you are attempting to purchase IPO shares from is trustworthy. It goes without saying that you should consult your financial counselor or whoever gives you advice on stocks and other matters. Okay. Circle is currently rejecting attempts to purchase them from Coinbase and Ripple. Since it doesn't appear that Ripple will be able to acquire Circle, what will be the company's next move? I always try to plan ahead a little bit. I think conducting this research and discussing it with you will be a lot of fun. These days, I kind of live for these stuff. I'm very thrilled about it. So let's get started. I had a question because it appears that Ripple won't be able to buy Circle, which is about to become public. Who would be the next reliable cryptocurrency company? You are in line for the decision made by Ripple. With an emphasis on transparency through real-time search engines, third-party escrow account institutions' excellent compliance tools, multi-chain support via Ethereum Avalanche, etc., it provided me with some information. Accordingly, the top acquisition candidates for Ripple in the stablecoin game would be True USD or TUSD, which explains why the company has a market cap of $494 million in Q1 2025. Then, in order to supplement RLUSD, Ripple needs a stablecoin that is reliable and audit-friendly. I'm not entirely certain. You know, I'd like to see the actual size of the USD. We'll see. What is the market capitalization of TUSD? Okay, let's figure out why that is the case. Here, let's examine a few of these alternative options. Another one is the Gemini dollar. It explains why a fully regulated NYDFS with monthly ascertains was permitted. Supported by Gemini's institutional clientele and exchange infrastructure, the strategic match complements Ripple's enterprise focus and offers direct access to Gemini's custody solutions. I'm not sure if Gemini would be interested in this, but I also believe that Circle had $60 billion spread among 104 blockchains when Ripple was trying to buy it. Attempting to purchase that entire network for, say, $5 billion or $10 billion made sense. Gemini is much smaller in my opinion. I'm not sure if Ripple would make the extra effort to implement this. Additionally, Paxos Standard, commonly referred to as PAX, has a market capitalization of $70 million as of the first quarter of 2025, FDIC-insured reserves, and a proven regulatory track record with legacy infrastructure from NYDFS licensing. Offering a ready-made solution would be a strategic fit for Ripple's expansion into asset-backed tokens, such as gold. along with wildcard decentralized options, which are less likely given Ripple's institutional focus. There are integration opportunities with Ripple's XRP Ledger DeFi projects and MakerDAO's DAI, which has a $5.3 billion market cap and may offer a decentralized stablecoin ecosystem to offset centralized competitors. Additionally, it discusses Ripple's acquisition reasoning, which is what the company believes Ripple is thinking. Ripple may quickly increase its stablecoin market share without facing regulatory resistance, because to market consolidation and the acquisition of smaller legal stablecoins. Additionally, cross-border synergy between RLUSD and a stablecoin that has been purchased may establish multi-currency settlement corridors for XRP stability, liquidity, and stablecoins. Revenue streams, interest, income, and revenue assets are also examined. For example, U.S. Treasuries fit into Ripple's institutional revenue model, and the demands of valuation would be the difficulties they would encounter here. In the midst of the cryptocurrency bull market and regulatory scrutiny, smaller stablecoins like TUSD and GUSD might command higher prices. Acquisitions may draw antitrust scrutiny if Ripple's market share increases too rapidly. There are clearly several factors at work here, and Ripple doesn't want to overcorrect them by saying that they can't buy Circle. Therefore, it appears that True USD has a market value of almost $500 million. Thus, it's not too unlike from what Ripple currently has with RLUSD. However, do share your thoughts below regarding Ripple's potential next move in the stablecoin purchase market. I would love to know more. What you believe will occur. I enjoy posing questions to you since you people have some incredibly insightful responses. Those will be interesting to read. Okay. After that, when you look at cryptocurrency, Darren shared this, and I read it a few weeks ago. It states that the U.S. Treasury compares the RLUSD, USDC, and USDT. Here are some possible effects on the Treasury market of steady coin growth. The fact that we all know that USDT lacks the audit and that it must be in the European Union is what interests me about this situation. Additionally, USDT would most likely have to exit the U.S. market as soon as the Genius Act is signed into law, because it will be more difficult for them to operate without performing this additional due diligence. This clip is what I want to show you. Listen, he is one of the creators of USDT, and he has asked why he is there. What has prevented you from finishing an audit? As in, what's happening? And observe the pauses and facial expressions. Just observing this man's attempt to get out of his chair in order to respond to this question, in my opinion, gives you a lot of clues. Take a look at this. According to that March piece, you were negotiating with a major four accounting company. Have you since engaged a company to complete this task? We are making great strides in that regard. I'm really optimistic. Let me ask you this. With all the questions, why wouldn't you hire them and require them to declare and release a report immediately after a month? Simply because I would assume that it would be beneficial to your business if everything is as excellent as you state. They still think there's a risk or a reputation, don't they? Once more, they switched from an administration that was fiercely anti-crypto to OCC with, "What are you discussing, dude?" For the simple reason that, if all is as you say, Operation Joke Point 2.0 existed in against crypto and is now in favor of crypto. The big four auditing firms are run by extremely careful individuals.